go. Newman versus German. Oh. Sharpen, big moment. He gets first opportunity. Big moment for the ruckman. He gets the first opportunity for his side to get the hand on the ball. Better push him, shove. Reynolds versus Winter had to happen there. Good move. Whitehouse will probably get Probert. Whoa! And they're in already.
Winter again. Whitehead, not Whitehouse. Sorry about that. It's Whitehead. Black's there as well. Richie.
Here we go.
Going to start it. Sharpen against Brown. No one really won it. Docker's going forward. No one can get quick kick. Noonan. His kick was smothered. Holm gets it to half forward. Reynolds first to it. Little kick. Sets up Heath. Taken out. Free kick to Clarence. We'll go to Probert. Quickly on the play. Squares it up. Reed's there. Got it. Reed to pull forward.
Now, there's a real show of confidence here on behalf of Clarence. I think the temptation must have been to drag Darryl Winter back in the defence after they lost Kieran O'Dwyer. That would have been sort of the easiest thing to run to. But they've shown faith with him. They've understood that it does put a bit of pressure on Burnie with Darren Winter up in the forward line.
Reed, first set shot at goal. Jared Reed, terrific start. Missed last year. Clarence are on the board.
Man, a wonderful start by the young guy. In fact, missed last year and missed the year before. Could have had a couple of premierships under his belt already, or one premiership, a couple of grand finals under his belt already. Probert bundle off the ball, pushed out, free kick. Probert plays on quickly, well done. Left foot centres it, and Reed playing out of a forward pocket, used his pace, got in front, jumped high, and most importantly, kicked truly. Well done, Clarence.
And back at the centre, bounces to Rouge, into attack again. Kick going well back. Winter can't control the ball. He's met heavily. Probert's there. Bourne gets a hand pass out. Comes out to Jackson. Jackson to his brother. He's under pressure. Close to the boundary line. Under pressure was Whitehead. Heath is there. Dribbles the ball. Did it go out of bounds on the full? No, it didn't. Send the boundary umpire. Throw in.
They've jumped out of the blocks again, Clarence. They look more short. I think there's a little bit of nervousness, understandably, amongst the Burnie Dockers. And I'm surprised. Actually am surprised to see Reynolds back at centre half back.
Sharpen. O'Keefe gets a good hand. Well, it wasn't a good hand pass. It looked good. Chance there. Coming in was Holm. Whistle on play. The free kick will go to the Dockers, go to Bourne, and that will be Errol Bourne. So Errol Bourne within the defensive 50-metre circle. Goes out wide, looking for Wish Wilson. Can't bring it down, but there's a whistle on play over the shoulder. So Dale, Wish Wilson, the Dockers captain, will take the free kick. Lead is on. Radford's there, but he's not the target. But in fact, a good sliding mark has been taken by Andrew Herring. Herring goes towards an open goal, no one guarding it. Ball bouncing, but it won't bounce enough for the Dockers because Holm is there for the Rouge to push it through to give the Dockers their first score up a high.
And Reynolds hasn't lasted long back at centre half back. I think there was just a bit of a ruse early on to try and throw Clarence a little bit. Cale O'Keefe has now gone back and picked up Peter Ritchie, and Reynolds is playing up in the forward line.
Cole gives to himself. Normally kicks long. Holdsworth the target. Good mark, Jackson. Had the sit. Looks to feed off. Too far out to score. He's got Reynolds. There's one option. Looks in that target. Holm works his way to the front.
Holm will have the good job on Keenan Reynolds playing centre half back, so Holm's been given the job of filling in for O'Dwyer.
Sharpen out wide. Didn't drag it down. Brown. First there for the Dockers. Hurried kick. Under pressure. Davey to take the kick at half-back. In front of the tiered stand. Looks for Ritchie. Bumped out of it. The ground-level German, his first touch. Good pressure from Black. McCallum, good trap from Radford. Read by Tack. Out wide, he's got Hearn. Defensive side of centre wing. Runs through the lines. Campbell, Black, Reed. Worked his way to the front. Couldn't drag it down, he's got a free kick. Brings it inside 50, Winter. One-on-one against Whitehead. At the fall, Alexander. Whitehead recovers. Hurd in front. Good leg speed. Hurd. Again, too far out to score. He'll drag it inside 50. A crowded forward line. No real movement. Winter goes in that direction. He's got two to beat. One of them is Brown. Winter worked his way. Little give to Alexander. Vaughan read it well. Clears to half-back. Hurd again. Williams does the spoil. Probe it. Good pick-up. To Noonan. Squares it up. It's got tap. McCallum's there as well. Met solidly. Jackson wanted the free. Holdsworth. Hand pass was smothered. German. Noonan. Good smother from Jackson. Goes again. Vaughan clears. Clears Cole's head. Cooney. Concedes ground. To half forward. All Dockers. Holdsworth turns around. Couldn't quite mark it. McCallum. Wild handball. Meant for Black. Nice little give to Cooney. Good tackle from O'Keefe. The Dockers should have the numbers and Benny should clear.
Benny goes to the sanctuary, the boundary line, and mightn't get there. It won't because Hurd's there in time for the Roos. Short passes on. Oh, and a brilliant diving mark, Colin Alexander. Second slip couldn't have done better than that. Now he decides to send the ball to Holdsworth. Off the hands of the back to Reed. The goal kicker is clear. He's having his second shot in the grand final. Why did you leave me out last debate? So I'm back in this year.
Well, he's certainly making his mark, and it's interesting. Burnley are really flooding their defence at the moment. They're pushing Brown back in front of full forward, in front of Winter, Darryl Winter back there, and they've also been very content to play Errol Bourne out of defence as well. And Reed here very, very, very quick. Just backed himself. A lot of confidence from the young fella. Saw him take a mark out in front early on. Then he recovered quickly from a centre from Alexander and kicked truly.
And here come Clarence again. Worked through by Sharpen. Only as far as Bourne. To centre wing. Good vision. Finds Jackson. In some space. Squares it up. Reynolds is a target. Davies there as well. Reynolds didn't do enough in the end. Atkins. Worked forward by Cole. Good pick up. Thumps it long. Reed again. Bourne loses his footing. Cooney. Natural left footer. Over the top. In the Reed direction. Picks it up. Inside 50. Round the body.
This boy play. Well, he's waited 3 years for this. 3 years, and he's just letting all that emotion out. And we thought Colin Alexander might be the excitement player for Clarence in their forward line, but they've really done their homework well here, Clarence. Reed's played as a tagger or on the wing, and he's just superior pace up there versus Errol Bourne. He's just ran away from him, and that's a wonderful kick. 3 goals in 7 minutes. A dream start to a grand final.
So the Roos on the rampage. Noonan, last game for the Roos. Will it be a premiership? Reed's there again at the back of the pack. And he's kicked it. Oh, and that's in 7 minutes and 20 seconds. The young man has sent North Hobart alight.
Mike, I'm absolutely speechless. I've not seen a start to that in any level of football, anywhere. No one who I've seen Bob Ucker kick 4 goals at the start of a grand final. That one was maybe a little bit fortune fell away, but he did read it better. He was in the right spot, he was given a yard, and that's all he needed. Quick enough to kick it off the ground. Well, what a start.
And it's moved on to him. Burnley have made a change. 4 goals to Clarence. They've been working with it through the centre.
And they've won out centre break. Sharpen's been able to jump higher. That was an important get there for Danny Noonan. Psychologically, that was an important one because he's got the first touch out of him and Peter German. 4 goals to 1 point. Sharpen again. German gets it forward the Dockers' way. Williams against Cole. Williams works it inside 50. Holmes there. Little give to McCallum. Deep in the defensive zone. Switches play. Tap. Wilson. Herring. Good mark, kept his eyes on the ball. Yeah, and they need one, don't they? Well, they've got to be shaken by that start. All the expectation was on Burnley. The pressure was right on them, and maybe it's told. Clarence just jumped out of the blocks, nothing to lose. The moves they've made have paid off. Noonan a little bit on top of German, and certainly Reed's been the great winner, and Andrew Herring now a chance to steady for Burnley.
Normally a very good kick. The distance shouldn't worry. Reynolds likes it. The Dockers are on the board.
Well, heave a sigh of relief if you're a Burnley Docker fan. They need a start. Well, you need something to kick you along, get the confidence back. They would have been shaky. Andrew Herring, very, very good mark, as you called, under pressure. The conditions are difficult, but the ball, I think, will actually stick. Watch this, just eyes on the ball, running with the flight of the ball, and that's just wonderful hands. The kick was a big risk kick, and Andrew Herring, well, he just grabbed the opportunity. Steady, and he's a good kick, he doesn't need to get the ball a lot to have an effect on the game.
Sharpen, but he misses it, had the opportunity, kick off the ground, Holdsworth there for the Roos. Little chip pass. Good diving defence from Bourne. Gives it to Jackson by hand. Kick semi-smothered. Williams is there for the Roos. He can't get it. Brown comes lumbering through. Good defensive football. See the ball knocked towards the boundary. And the man who took the knock there was Stuart Probert. Thought he might have got a kick, but the umpire said no.
He's working hard.
There, certainly. Anthony Cole covering a lot of territory.
And he's got the job. It's a bit of a mismatch there. Marcus Bourne, who's barely a 6-footer, against Stuart Probert, who's a 6-foot-plus player.
Brown goes the big thump, but only as far as McCullum, who goes straight to the boundary line. No beg pardons. And a very determined Roo outfit. They've tasted so much grand final success. They want another go. They want to go to the well again, Andy, and grab another bucketful.
A lot of confidence. They really are playing with a lot of confidence.
German desperately trying to lift his side. Oh, and that's a great mark taken by that man, Keenan Reynolds. And Reynolds, the ball now heavy, goes the short pass. The lead is on. Cole chipped in, but the mark was taken behind by Wish Wilson. And the wish was there and it fell into his arms.
He was about 4th in line, 5th in line. There was no lack of courage in front of him. I don't know how the ball got through that heavy traffic.
No,
but it did, and he was in the right spot, in front.
Anthony Cole thought he was going to stop the man who's going to take the mark, but it fell to Wish Wilson at the back. Dale Wish Wilson, his last game for the Dockers. Do you reckon he wants a premiership? Does he what? It's important now if Bertie can get this goal and string together 2 in a row. And the kick from Wish Wilson going left. It's coming back. It's coming back, and I think it goes back far enough. It did. So the Dockers have, Andy, that vital second goal, 2 in a row.
Well, they bounced back, and all credit to them. They really would have been. They really were on shaky ground after Reid burst out of the blocks and kicked those 4 goals in 7 minutes. But they've won the last 4 minutes. We're now to kick 2 goals. Keenan Reynolds, we didn't see the marker there, but that was the really telling part. The one-hander in the wet, grabbed it. And Wish Wilson, well, there was a fair bit of luck that it just fell to him then, but he's in the right spot and he's converted. Truly, the captain's made his mark.
Sharpen against Brown. Brown wins it. Here come the Dockers. Only as far as Wilson. Little give to Tap. Under pressure from German. Still in front of Tap. Works away to the wing. Benny. Little give. The Roos get it forward from the George Miller stand.
Settle down, Tom. Take a breather. Look at the cover of the matchup. We've got Cole on Williams, Davey on Wish Wilson, and Holm on Reynolds in the Burnie Dockers forward line.
Over the back came Jackson to Benny, to Brown. The kick off the side of the boot. First there is Bourne. Little sticks in the mud. Might have given away a free. Noonan against German. Noonan's got the free. Advantage played. No, we'll come back. Good umpiring.
Yep, smart umpiring. Good change in the interpretation in that rule.
Davey out wide. The kick goes behind him. Bradford. Davey with the pace. Along centre wing to Holdsworth. Over the top to Alexander. In some space. Gives it to McCallum. He'll drive it long. Good smother from Benny. Ran it down. German. Opportunist to Radford. Looks for Atkins. Good tackle from Davey in the back. Thought he rolled him. To O'Keefe. Reynolds. Some space on Holm. Brings it to ground. Holm first to recover. Taps there as well. Out wide to Holm. In some trouble. Players slipping a little. Campbell Black to Cooney. Winters on a lead. Whitehead brought it to ground. Bourne. Ritchie's there as well. Whitehead looks for the boundary. Shepherding. Winter. Alexander behind play. Ritchie's down.
Ritchie one.
Ritchie's down.
And that's
now Brown's down.
If there's a free, well, very interesting to see this one. Peter Rich, well, he's been, he'll get up for this, but it's going to take a while. That was a hard blow. He's a very important player to Clarence. He's been their tough man up the forward line. In the last year, we'll watch this replay, and it's hitting fair square on top of the scone, as they would say. That hurts. That hurts. I don't know whether Damien Brown will be excited about that replay when he sees it.
Even for a tough bloke like Ritchie, it hurts.
And again, just unnecessary. You know, it's just the end of the contest when you give away a free kick like that. Good umpiring, though, to keep their eyes wider than just where the ball was.
Squares it up. Wilson, unguarded. 45 metres out. Good vision from Ritchie.
Yeah, but very ordinary. There's a long time. There's a lot of time to set up there, Bernie in defence, and to let Keir Wilson find that much space. Oh, that is just lack of concentration.
Clarence kicked the first 4. The Dockers the last 2. Wilson. Noonan likes it. So do all the Barrow supporters. They're fifth. What a start. 7 goals in 15 minutes.
Gee, often it's just a real do or struggle, isn't it, the first few minutes of a grand final. The first quarter is just testing out, but to have 7 goals kicked in these conditions, well, that's an enormous result. And look at this, he's just a long way. Benny just on. Actually, I don't think it was Benny's direct opponent. Benny had to do the chasing, but he's out on the wing opposed. I think he's actually running with Cooney, but gee, he found a lot of space, Keir Wilson.
So the Rouge replied, difficult to get out of the centre. Quick kick by Noonan. Ritchie, who's recovered and takes a good, strong mark. Peter Ritchie says, well, this is the way I'll show you.
Yeah.
You want to give me a thump, I'll mark it, I'll kick a goal.
I think you're right. He's an angry young man at the moment. He's got something to prove.
He has his dander up, and he's going to do his best to make sure he puts this through for the Rouge 6th goal. Our 5 goals straight, the Rouge. The Dockers 2-1-13. 30 plays 13. Peter Ritchie says, cop this. Off the boot well, but offline also. So the first behind the Rouge. They move to 5-1-31. And the Dockers 2-1.
But you can see in his eyes, I think there's real intent there now. He knows he's involved in the contest, and I think Peter Ritchie quite welcomes that.
Heath goes short to Whitehead, who missed last year's grand final through suspension. Winter goes down off screen. Whitehead takes his time, looking for something to be set up. He's got Brown, not really quite sure what to do. He's asked to give a hurry on. Goes to half-back, Sharp and Ritchie. Cale O'Keefe. At half-back. Williams, at the back is Herring. Williams in front, good hands. Nice little give to German. Reynolds. Didn't quite get there in time. Black, good pick-up. Good tackle from Reynolds. Dropped it. Held it too long.
Great recovery from Reynolds.
It's Wish Wilson, actually.
Wish Wilson, great recovery, yeah, from him. And he's stamped his mark, taken a good mark, kicked a goal, and now a terrific tackle.
It's got Bourne out wide.
First time Errol Bourne's been forward of centre in the game.
He's right on 50. Reynolds to the pocket. Goes in that direction. Herring's there as well. Reynolds, McCallum with a big fist. He's first to recover. He's got Reid over the top. He can get it up. Good work from Harnett. Tap over the top. Reynolds is there as well. Radford. Shepherding came from Holm. Radford swamped Holm. Nice little hands to the danger man Reid. Not even he can kick it from there. Noonan flies it out. Campbell Black was clever. Hurd gets it forward. Holdsworth. Brown with strength. Jackson mops up. Alexander steals the handbars. In some space. Ritchie on his own.
Well on his own. A lot of space. Cale O'Keefe got caught up in play.
Looks for Campbell Black. Off the ground. Luxor fights it. Holdsworth marked.
Well, we'll give it to him. I reckon he meant it, Chris. I'm with him. But and luck has gone. Well, they make their own. You make your own luck. I think Clarence are just that bit more settled, bit more hard at the ball. Well, he knew what he was doing. I don't think the result was better than he hoped for, but he really was trying to drag it back across in front of goals. And Paul Holdsworth found the right spot.
For Clarence 6th. He's got it.
And now it's,
I love it. I love it.
And now it is a test of nerves for Burning. One of the things that you can't help go through your head now is, oh my God, here we go again. We lost a grand final last year. They've really got to put that out of their mind, concentrate on getting on with the process. Peter German talks about that all the time. But Peter Ritchie's been good. He really has responded well from that clash early on in the game. Campbell Black, as ever, running hard into the forward line. Good thinking. And yeah, he did drag it back. I don't think he was aiming to pass it there, but the result's on the board.
Kick off the ground by German. Puts the Dockers almost into attack. Ball close to the boundary line. Good tackle applied on John Cullen. And applied by, just trying to work out who it is. No, that's Wish Wilson.
Grant Williams.
No, in fact, it was Grant Williams. Yep.
The haircut's about the same. The hair colour's a little different.
Bourne plays ruckman, gets it down to German. He can't get rid of it. Players drag the ball in, it comes out. Going in for it is Jackson. That's Grant Jackson for the Dockers. And his brother there, to Kent, to pat him on the back. Clarence about to make an interchange. Looks like Barling coming on, Jason Barling. Good tap. Goes to Atkins, gets it to Bourne. He's under tremendous pressure by Wilson. Kick off the ground, well, out of bounds on the full, it was. And the free kick to the Rouge to be taken by Keir Wilson. Wilson goes long, O'Keefe thumps it towards the boundary. Reed, the man of the match at the moment, pinches the ball. Two roos, Holdsworth, or it'll run for Sharpen. All he has to do is straighten up, steady, go for goal. Winter's there, can't bring it down. And Gavin Cooney says, thank you very much. Close the stable door, but well done, Darren.
Take a bow, Darren Winter. Just great presence of mind, terrific presence of mind. Just knocked the ball back into the path of Cooney, who was in the right spot. Two Bernie Dockers players up in the air. Reed really has had an impact on the game, both in winning the ball in the middle of the field. Sharpen was there because Brown was dragged up into a contest. Sharpen actually went there, and look at that knockback. That was absolutely intentional. Great play, great team play, Darren Winter.
German gets the Dockers going forward. Williams, big pack of players. Bradford off the pack. No one can take it. Ooh. Williams just working out a bit of space for himself. The umpire will take the ball. Umpire Wilson. Barling's on the ground. Reynolds brings it down the spine. Barling's there. So too is Noonan. Barling takes it. Nice little hand pass to Cole. To half-back. Reed. Alexander. Good pick-up. He's got tap in support. Ducks his head. Gets through the traffic. Winter, one-on-one against Whitehead. Whitehead's in front. Little toe poke. Only as far as Ritchie. Good tackle. Winter. Might fall for it. Benny. Important contest. Winter gets it forward to Cooney. O'Keefe.
There's good poise, Darren Winter, doesn't he? Again, he just knew that Cooney was ahead of him, didn't kick it too hard. He could have just touched it a little bit hard. Gaby's come on. Gaby will probably go back into defence, I would think. No, he's going up to half forward. Atkins is off.
Hurd. Probert's there, in front. Brown's there. Sharpen, off the pack. Don't tell me. He's got it. What a snap from a big fella. Clarence, 8 goals.
And they produce something special. They've got a lot of players playing up near as well as they possibly can, and that's what you need in a grand final. Play with a lot of confidence. Pressure's on. Hurd on the left foot, kicks long. I thought I was actually going to criticise Sharpen for not contesting. I thought he could have taken the mark by floating across the back. Well, that's why he didn't. That's why he didn't. He knew it was coming down front and centre off the pack, and he's kicked right. Again, he's up in the forward line because he's tagging Brown when he drops back in defence.
And the Dockers can't work out what's hit them. A kick off the ground. Goes forward. Dockers in numbers, but it's the Roos who come out with the ball. Holm gets it to Noonan. Noonan gets his kick in. Sharpen in front. And the moment the Dockers chasing their men, they're trying to play catch-up football, and they're getting nowhere near the Roos at the moment. Cullen couldn't bring it down. Bourne tries to hand pass to O'Keefe, but Bourne, Alistair Bourne, was grabbed high. Play goes on. Hand pass out to German. He's trying desperately to lift his side. Bourne goes to hand pass, but it's pinched by Cullen, ducking, diving, gets a hand pass in, finds Black. He's got time to get a hand pass over to Noonan, who doesn't stop running, by hand to Holdsworth, who's caught straight away. Sold him into trouble then. And
that hadn't happened. I was about to call that. Had Damien Brown just has absolutely lost Jeremy Sharpen. Brad Davis comes on, have another go at Sharpen. He was beaten by Sharpen in the grand final last year. He's got something to prove today.
The throw in, O'Keefe tries to get the tap. Bourne gets a hurry kick, but it's effective because it finds Keenal Reynolds, who's down on the wing. Decides to centre the ball. He's got Jackson going forward. That's Kent Jackson. If it comes off, it'll be a good transfer of play. Jackson's got the ball going. He can't get it, though. Opportunity now by Benny. Tries to go forward. Well battled.
Alexander's in and under there.
Alexander.
He's been terrific. He really has played well. We said it every time we called Clarence. I think he's grown as a midfielder this year. He's been just superb up in the forward line for many years, but he's been better in midfield all this year.
A great leap and tap by Reynolds, hand pass by McCullum. It's gone to the boundary line, and we can take this opportunity now to get a report on Jared Reed.
Yeah, well, the little goal sneak, fellas, is he's just come off to have a bit of a slight corky rub, but it looks like he's coming straight back on now.
You couldn't keep him off with wild horses.
The Dockers into attack. Reynolds, home. Gaby's there. It's pretty hot. Reynolds.
They probably, well, Burnie have got a bit of a dilemma now. I think they're under a lot of pressure, and the temptation must be to push Reynolds back in defence or even into midfield because he's their steadiest player. But on the other hand, they've got to kick goals to get back in it.
Wilson, strong tackle from Williams.
And they have been good at that, holding the ball in their forward line, Burnie, but they haven't got much clear possession into their forward line. They haven't been able to set up very well at all.
Still in the Dockers attacking zone. The umpire spotted the free. That's umpire Stephen Grant. Has picked out a free.
Go to Keenan Reynolds, I think.
A ruck infringement. Wish Wilson's got the ball, but he'll give it to Reynolds.
Well, we're thinking, well, maybe it was off the ball. No, yes, it has.
So Reynolds.
It'll test him. It's right on the edge of his distance. He'll probably kick from right on 50. That's just about the edge of it. He's very relaxed. Has terrific kicking style. And they need something special from Keenan Reynolds if they're going to get themselves back into the game.
He's had a good tussle with Holm to date. Reynolds. Off the boot. Looks good. Might have the distance. It has.
Yeah,
Keenan Reynolds.
Yeah, well, it was a special kick. That ball has got heavier now. We're 25 minutes into the first quarter. The conditions are heavy. It's brightened up. The weather's a lot better, but it still was a long way to kick the ball with a heavy ball. I don't know where the free came from. We'll give it to... we don't see it. It happens off screen, unfortunately.
Umpire Stephen Grunt.
A soft one, probably, but it's gone Keenan Reynolds' way, and that's the third goal for Burnie. So they just hang on, but gee, they're under a lot of pressure.
The Clarence by 30 points. Bourne tries to go forward. Can't kick it off the ground, not effective on that occasion. Cooney for the Roos gets a hurry kick. Bourne in position to mark. Alistair Bourne does that. Goes by hand to O'Keefe. He in turn goes out to Jackson. Jackson along to centre half forward. Williams is the target from behind. Gets a second grab but didn't control it. And then desperate defence. The Dockers anxious to lock the ball in. Davey in there for the Roos. Keenan Reynolds for the Dockers. And the Dockers still shell-shocked from the great opening burst from the Roos. Hurry kick taken by Hurd. Alexander, he'll twist and turn and use the ball effectively. He always does. Clarence Clare put down when he was shepherding behind play. The ball goes on, and Peter Ritchie, he's been stung into action by the blow he received. Now he's going to pass it, and he does it very well and finds Stuart Probert.
And that is a mismatch. That's a one. It hasn't paid dividends too much for Clarence as yet, but it's got to be a worry for the Burnie Dockers. Stuart Probert is just too tall for Marcus Bourne. And if he puts himself in front, it's really going to be hard for Bourne to spoil or knock the ball away. But Peter Ritchie, you're right, John, has responded in just the right way to that clash early on.
So Stuart Probert will kick from about 47 metres. Ball holds up, it's well offline. Winter is there to contest. The Burnie Dockers defenders see the ball over the boundary line. And Grant Fagan, you'd think his side was 5 goals behind, but that's the way of coaches. Well, it's total concentration. You never relax.
And they've done a good job. Their setups, but their matchups early in the game have been terrific.
Winter, Probert in ruck. Ritchie, Heath, the boundary line, safety.
And they're just hanging on, Burnie. You know, they'll be really looking forward to the quarter-time siren where they can readjust and get their minds right and maybe have a look at how the matchups have fallen and try and do something different, because they need to. If it keeps going the way it is, Clarence have won the grand final.
Into time on, Heath. Tap from Davis to half-back Cooney. In front. Decides to give to Tap. Inside 50. Davis in best position. Winter was there, and 50. The Dockers players responding. Winter's surrounded by them. Noonan comes in.
And it was late.
Davis is still down.
And it certainly was a bit high, but we'll watch. Marks taken. Ooh. And it certainly tested out Brad Davis.
And still on behind play. Winter. Bourne. Whitehead. Play goes on. It's now at half forward for the Dockers. And at half forward, they're having a ding-dong.
And Brad Davis isn't way back behind screen, off screen. Brad Davis isn't that all well.
Sharpen in ruck. Jackson. High ball. Cole keeps his feet. Wish Wilson's there. Works hard. McCallum forced to go off the ground. Noonan picks up. In some space. Got no one to kick it to. Had to go for the boundary.
And they're going to have to stop this game. Brad Davis is not well at all. They're going to have to call for the stretcher. He's made a couple of efforts to get up, but it just hasn't happened for him. And well, the stretcher's there, and they've just got to get the attention of the umpires and let them know so they can stop the game. I think it's happened now. Yes, it has. We're going to have a break in play.
And there's a few scuffles just breaking out.
And here's the replay, and it's late, and it's got him flush on the jaw. Flush on the jaw, and he's not going to be, well, you don't need me to tell you that, but that's... Yeah. Brad Davis hasn't had he has had a sad season, has he? Twice broken his collarbone, got back for the big one, and now he's spent maybe 5 minutes on the ground. Well, he's sitting up, and that's a good sign. That is a good sign, but And let's hope we do get him back again. Let's hope we do. With Damien Brown now will come back on the field and have a chance to redeem himself after getting a bit of a belting, really, from Sharpen early on.
He'll be fired up.
Yeah, well, I hope he's not fired. I hope he's actually settled down. Yeah, maybe that's the problem. You know, for Bernie, they are a little bit over the edge, and Clarence have jumped them because of that. I think they've just been more settled, Clarence. Their experience has told.
And there's a report. I think umpire has given a report. It's a free kick.
2.
Just in the centre field it happened. Alexander's either been reported or involved in being reported. Looks like Alexander's been reported as Bourne comes off, blood streaming down from the side of his face. The Dockers have got the free. German thumps it long. Gaby's there. The umpire spotted the free. In fact, it's quarter time.
And on again.
And it's on again at half back. On the grounds of Clarence play.
And the best thing Bernie do is get out of there, get over to their coach, get themselves organised, get their mind on the game. Walk away from that.
They're coming from everywhere.
Just going to do them no good at all, this. It's all push and shove for to no avail. Just frustration style. Clarence would be loving this, though. They'd be saying, well, this is great. We've got them on the scoreboard, and now they're worrying off about this sort of stuff. Pressure's on Burning, fairly and squarely. It's the name of the game in grand finals. You've just got to keep your mind on the things that are important.
And it's still going on.
Yep.
Still going. Quarter time siren's gone. And players are shoving and pushing. And
the quarter time break will be over before they get over there.
And what the Dockers have to do, Andy, is get right out of that situation. It's playing into Clarence's hands.
That's right. Well, they could go at it like that for the rest of the day, and Clarence will win the game.
Yep.
They've got to get over there, get their minds back, focused back on the things that are important, the things that have got themselves there. Look at their matchup. They've got to find some winners. They haven't had a winner anywhere on the ground apart from Keenan Reynolds, and that's the story of the game. Clarence really are winning. Wish Wilson's bobbed up and kicked a goal, but Wish hasn't been, it's good. Wish Wilson, the captain, I think he understands it. He's not in there throwing around. He's been there and done that, and he knows it hasn't got him anywhere. It's just not important. He knows what's important. He just by long, bitter experience. And I'm sure he'll be talking about that, and good on him.
Yeah, looks like Alistair Bourne.
Mastercard.
Yes, received one. They certainly have. And Andy, no one would have thought in their wildest dreams.